What's up, people? Welcome back to Daily Red Devil for all of your latest Manchester United transfer news and talk. And welcome to our weekly Manchester United Takeover show. Now, you guys are probably all sat there thinking, why the hell are we talking about this? But we tried to compress all of the information into one show once a week now because, to be completely honest with you, it gets quite tiresome talking about the Takeover every time we go live. So instead, we do this show every week on a Sunday where we compile all of the different bits of information that have come out over the last week. We bring them to you and then we discuss it as a community. So yeah, that's the purpose of this show. It's ultimately a really compressed roundup of all of the different bits of takeover information we've had over the last 7 days, compressed into one show for you guys. So yeah, as always, please do smash a like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel if you are new, and let's jump straight on into this. I do try and make all of these takeover weekly shows as interactive as possible because I do want to get you guys' opinions. I do want to know how you're feeling about the takeover. Maybe you don't even care anymore, but at the end of the day, I think it is still worth doing a show about once a week. So here we are. Let's jump straight on into it. So far this week, guys, we've had about 3 or 4 different really big bits of news come out around the takeover. Obviously, we haven't heard anything directly from the Glazers. We haven't heard anything directly from the Rain Group. So, you know, we're still waiting for we're still waiting for the actual Glazers to come out and tell us what's going on, which is probably the most important thing. But we have had a few other stories which I think are quite interesting, and I've all rounded up together for you for this show. So I think the most interesting story of all of them is coming out from Sky Sports, and that is the following. Sky Sports reported yesterday that there are expected to be developments on the sale of Manchester United after the team return from their pre-season tour of America. So for anybody who's unaware, Manchester United play their final game of the pre-season tour against Dortmund. It's at 2 a.m. on Monday, tomorrow morning, in a few hours' time, pretty much, 2 a.m. UK time. Sky Sports are reporting yesterday that apparently they're expecting there to be some developments once the team come back from the UK. We have said this kind of for the last couple of weeks that nobody in the industry really did think that they would get an announcement on the sale whilst the tour was going on. Obviously, the Glazers are American. The tour was in America, so it didn't really make sense for them to come out and say, you know, we're selling the club or we're staying. So make of this what you will. I'm not going to be kind of singing from the rooftops just because Sky Sports have said that potentially there might be news next week. I think it's a little bit vague, to be completely honest with you. But at the end of the day, Sky Sports will have got this information from somewhere. And their information was that there is expected to be developments on the potential sale of Manchester United after the team return from their pre-season tour next week. So again, let me know what you think about that one. Do you think it's worth talking about? Do you think it's them just filling the air? I don't know. My take on it is, I do think they would have got that story from somewhere. They won't have just plucked it out of thin air. Somebody will have told them that something will happen in the next week. But the one thing I do want to throw into that, he does go on to say that from what they're hearing at the moment, from what Sky Sports are hearing, apparently all of the kind of people inside the process are saying that at the moment it looks more likely that the Glazers will be still involved in some capacity. So they are saying that there'll be some developments, but they're saying from what they've heard, the developments will be that the Glazers are still involved in some capacity. So yeah, it's a bit strange, to be completely honest with you. I don't really know what to think about it. Obviously, I don't want the Glazers involved in any capacity. That's very clear. The message from me has always been Glazers out, full sale only. So yeah, I mean, even if they announce next week they're staying, that's the worst case scenario, isn't it? The worst case scenario is that the Glazers decide that they want to stay. Yeah. I would honestly rather it was just prolonged for a few more weeks than find out, you know. But yeah, let me know what you think about that one. Do you think that Sky Sports have any kind of legs on that story? Do you think, do you think they've just made that story up? I don't think Sky Sports would just make up something like that, to be completely honest with you. They will have got that story from somewhere. Obviously, they don't ever give their sources, so they're not going to say where that story is from. But the key thing that Sky Sports have said is that the information they're getting at the moment is that the Glazers will still be involved in some capacity. Again, they might be wrong. We don't know. Yeah, I honestly think, though, if you guys want my opinion of where we're at the moment, I honestly think that the Glazers are just trying to drive the price up. We do have another story to bring you in a minute, which will kind of vouch for that. I honestly just think that the Glazers are trying to drive the price up. They're not desperate to sell. They've got through this transfer window. They probably think the fans are going to be happy with the signings that they've got and that we're going to be silent, but that's not going to happen. Even if we sign another 5 players between now and the Wolves game in 2 weeks, there's still going to be protests. And they're going to get worse and worse and worse and worse. The games will start being called off. You know how it's going to go. No matter what the Glazers do, no matter who they bring in, there still will be protests and everybody still will want them out of the club. But yeah, that's what Sky Sports are reporting. I'm not really too sure what to make about that one, to be completely honest with you. Yeah, I'm not like upset about it, put it that way. The other story we had as well was coming out from a couple of the kind of tabloid newspapers in the UK. So like The Sun, the Daily Mirror, the Daily Mail, etc., etc. All of them were reporting yesterday that the Glazers now apparently want close to 8 billion for Manchester United, apparently having rejected the other two 6 billion bids. I mean, again, I'm not really too sure what to make about this. Obviously, as I said, the story is coming out from the tabloid newspapers in the UK, which, let's be completely honest, a lot of them aren't even worth the paper that they're, the ink that they're written on. They do just print a lot of rubbish. So I'm not really too sure what to make about that one. But if it's my own personal opinion, I do think that the Glazers want more than the 6 billion that's been offered. I genuinely think that. I think they want closer to 8. I do agree with that. I really, really do. I just think that at the end of the day, this process has been going on for eight months now, right? They wanted 6 billion at the beginning. It's taken them, what, 8 months to get to this 6 billion figure that's being floated around? They're clearly going to want more money, but I think if they weren't going to have sold, they would have told us by now. I do. Like, why would they wait until the season's about to start and then announce they're staying? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. It really, really doesn't. It's going to be absolutely brutal if they stay, There's going to be protests. There's going to be people boycotting games. There's probably going to be games being called off. Like, it would have made way more sense if they'd announced they were staying at the beginning of this transfer window, to be completely honest with you. I still am feeling confident, but I do just think that this is going to drag on and on and on and on. How many times have we had Rio Ferdinand coming out saying that we're going to find out who the new owner is tomorrow? Or we what else have we had? We've had Qatari newspapers coming out saying that the deal is imminent. We've had so much different bits of false hype over this process. We really, really have. And that's why I do this show once a week, because I can't be bothered anymore to be like talking about it every single day. I think it's better for us to all come together as a community once a week, go through all of the news that we've had, even if some of it is rubbish, wade through it as a community and work out what stuff we actually think is believable, and then kind of move on from there, because otherwise it just drives you absolutely crazy. And to be completely honest with you, I don't want to think about it every day. I don't want to talk about it every day. And I know lots of people in the chat every single day are saying, what's going on with the takeover? What's going on with the takeover? And yeah, it just is really, really draining. So that's why we do this show once a week. So yeah, as I said, all of the tabloid newspapers are reporting that the Glazers now want 8 billion. Okay, I mean, that might be true. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if they want 8 billion. They're greedy, aren't they? Malps in the chat says, Rio said it was imminent at the train station. Yeah, he did, didn't he? I mean, I love Rio Ferdinand and I love his YouTube channel as well, but he said it 2 or 3 times now, hasn't he? He said that like tomorrow is going to be a really big day and everybody goes absolutely crazy. Everybody's out celebrating in the street. And yeah, I don't know. I don't get it, because every time that happens, I think, why would Rio Ferdinand come out with something like that? Like, he has no reason to do that. Like, surely Rio Ferdinand doesn't need the clicks and the likes. Like, surely he doesn't. He's a multi-millionaire. He's one of the best centre-backs in Premier League history. Like, why would he need to do that? It's very, very weird, to be completely honest with you. But anyway, let's move on with the story. We had a bit of a side bit come out yesterday as well. This is from David Beckham. David Beckham was asked about the ownership situation, and he was asked about whether the Glazers should exit the club. David Beckham had the following thing to say on the Manchester United takeover. He said, I think there does need to be change. I haven't been approached. Any involvement with Manchester United would mean the world to me. We'll see what happens in the next few weeks or months. So that is something I wanted to ask this community. How does everybody feel about getting ex-legends involved with the new potential owners? How do you feel about David Beckham, Paul Scholes, Gary Neville? I'm just listing off names, these aren't specifically, but is there any legends that you'd want to see involved in the club? Would you like to see someone like David Beckham involved? Would you like to see someone like Paul Scholes? Roy Keane? I don't know, whoever it might be. Let me know in the comments section how you feel about that. For me personally, the only one I would probably get involved with is probably David Beckham. Not really too sure about the rest of them. The rest of them are just pundits now to me. They're not like football business people. But yeah, I would get David Beckham involved with it, definitely. And as he just said there, David Beckham thinks there does need to be change. But obviously he's not saying that he wants Qatar or Sir Jim Ratcliffe. He just says that he thinks there needs to be change, which is good. I'm happy that he came out of that. I do think it's really, really positive that he did. But yeah, let me know in the comment section. Would you like to have ex-legends involved in the Manchester United ownership in the future? Right, let's move on to the next story. And do get your comments in. Do let me know how you're feeling about the takeover. Do you think the Glazers will stay? Do you think, if not, who do you think they'll sell to? Let me know in the comment section. I've had some really, really interesting theories been thrown my way over the last couple of weeks with this amazing community. I've had so many people coming to me saying, Kieran, I honestly think that Sheikh Jassim has already got the club. Like, the way we're operating in the transfer market. Like, do remember, guys, we've spent nearly, how much have we spent? 60 million on Rasmus, 43 on Onana, that's 103. We've spent nearly 170 million pounds. 170 million, and we've sold nobody. We've sold Alanga. That's the only person we've sold, and Alex Telles. We've spent a hell of a lot of money when you think that our budget was apparently only 120. So I do think there is some legs in that argument where people are saying, I do think that maybe Sheikh Jassim's got the club. Like, maybe that is true. I'm not entirely sure. I don't know. Obviously, there is these non-disclosure agreements. We never know. Just imagine this. Imagine next week it gets announced they're going. I'm not convinced that it will be that soon. I honestly think this is going to drag on and on and on and on. And that's why I just want to do this show once a week. We can just lash it out in a 20, 30 minute show. We can all talk about what's going on, and then we just don't have to think about it for the rest of the week, Yeah, but that's what I think about it anyway. So what was I saying? Yeah, I had a few really, really interesting people in the comment section saying, Kieran, I think that, I think that Sheikh Jassim's already got the club. And I was like, it's a really nice idea. It's a great story, and maybe that's true, but I'm just not sure if that actually happens in business. Like, do people really start pulling the strings before they actually buy the business? I'm not really too sure about it, to be completely honest with you. Yeah, I mean, as Jamie says in the chat, that's exactly what I said, and this is exactly the theory that a load of other fans and friends I have who support Manchester United have said to me. They've said, how are we spending all this money when we're with the Glazers? Our budget was 120 million. That was reported for months, wasn't it? Every single show for about the first month of the transfer window, we were saying, we're only got 120 million. We can't get a striker. We have to get a goalkeeper and something else, blah, blah, blah. But now, Rasmus Højlund, Onana and Mason Mount, that's about 170 million pounds alone. And we're still in the race for Amrabat. We're supposedly, about to put in a bid for Amrabat. That's going to be another 30. We're going to have spent well over 200 million pounds this transfer window on 4 players. And we haven't sold anybody, really. I know we've sold Alanga and I know we've sold Telles, but that's like 20 million combined. So it does make me think what's going on. Is there somebody working behind the scenes? How are we getting around for financial fair play? Obviously, we knew that if Sheikh Jassim came in and he cleared the debt, it would mean that our budget was already about 40, 50 million pounds more than it would be usually. I'm just not sure if legally you can have a new owner behind the scenes buying transfers and stuff before it's actually been announced. I don't think that's allowed. But again, I'm not a kind of business financial expert, so I don't know. But, if I'm thinking about it from a logical sense, it doesn't really make sense for Sheikh Jassim to be supposedly owning the club in the shadows and buying all these players. Like, I just don't think that's how football works. And as much as I love that theory, as much as I want that to be true, and everyone to say, I told you so, I told you, I knew Sheikh Jassim was pulling the strings, like, I just don't think that's realistic. And I think over the last 8 months, I was so excited on every single little bit of moment where we get a new story. Rio says it's imminent, or somebody else says tomorrow, or somebody says a newspaper's printed this in Qatar. And like, I got so excited, and I've just had to kind of bring myself down to a bit more of a reality. And again, I'm not trying to be negative. I'm just being completely real with you. And I'm sure lots of you feel exactly the same. We've been fed so much information that's brought our hopes up, and it has really, really messed with a lot of people's mental health. And I think a lot of people in the chat will kind of agree with this. Like, it has definitely affected a lot of people's mental health. So a lot of different Manchester United fans I speak to, it really, really does trouble them. It does, because it's something you love so much. Every one of us in this chat loves Manchester United. You wouldn't be watching this program if you didn't love Manchester United. I wouldn't be doing this show if I didn't love Manchester United. It's something that is in our hearts, you know what I mean? And when somebody rips that out from you over the last 18 years, and then to be completely honest with you, the way that they've handled this process is an absolute disgrace. And you can see me getting worked up about it now. And this is why I only want to talk about it once a week, because otherwise, honestly, I just find myself getting so miserable and down about it. And the way that they've destroyed this club, and the way that they've destroyed the fan base, they've divided us. Like, it literally makes me feel so sad, like, to be completely honest with you. And yeah, I just hope in the bottom of my heart that they do leave. But yeah, I'm kind of done with all of this false hope. I'm done with Rio coming out saying tomorrow. I'm done with all of this stuff, because it literally is playing with our heartstrings. It really, really is, isn't it? And it does just get me down. So yeah, that's why each week I do this show. I give you guys all of the bits of news as compressed as possible. We can all talk about it. And you can see from my tone, I'm pretty timid today. I'm not as excitable, let's say, as I am sometimes. But yeah, if you are new to the channel, guys, please do subscribe. And yeah, please do smash a like on the video, everybody who is watching. So Jamie in the chat is saying that apparently Qatar did this at PSG before taking full control. I mean, I didn't know that, to be completely honest with you. Maybe that's true. Where can I find that story so I can read it? So there's somebody in the chat apparently saying that before Qatar bought PSG, they were kind of pulling the strings secretly. Honestly, I want to believe that. I want to believe that so much, but I just can't attach myself to any of these false hopes anymore until I see like Bloomberg, BBC Sport, until I see literally every single Fabrizio, all of these people come out saying that Qatar's won or the Glazers are going. I just don't want to get myself too excited about it because at the end of the day, it does just get you down. It really, really does. But we've got a couple more bits to talk about on the takeover really, really quickly. Now this one's, well, I wouldn't say it's funny, but I wanted to bring it into the chat today on this video. So the Mayor of Manchester, Andy Burnham, was asked about the prospect of Qatar taking over Manchester United. And his response was this. He says, no one feels comfortable about the takeover. Sorry, I just hiccuped midway through reading that, but just to reiterate, the Mayor of Manchester has been asked about Qatar, and he says no one feels comfortable about the takeover. I mean, that is absolutely ridiculous, isn't it? We spoke about this on the show this morning, and we did do a poll about whether people were comfortable with Qatari-based ownership, and like, yeah, I just feel a little bit at the moment that all the news we're getting about the takeover is just negative. We haven't had a positive story. We haven't even had a Rio saying that it's going to be tomorrow in what, like a month? 6 weeks? I think it was 6 weeks ago, wasn't it, where Rio said it was going to be tomorrow. Like, we literally haven't even had a story like that in probably over a month. It's gone so quiet. And if I'm going to play devil's advocate, maybe that means that something is happening behind the scenes. Maybe now that Rio stopped saying it's going to be tomorrow, maybe there is stuff going on behind the scenes, you know? Before, every single day there was a new story coming out. Every single day there was, tomorrow Qatar will take over. Tomorrow Sir Jim will take over. But like, it has gone very quiet, which some people, more business-minded people who I know have said to me, like, Kieran, that is a positive. The fact that we're not getting all of these rubbish stories constantly, maybe that is an actual positive. And all I hope, for everyone's sake, for your sake, for my sake, for Erik ten Hag's sake, for the players' sake, that they tell us what's going on before that game against Wolves, because I just don't want to start the season with this negativity. I never want to have to talk about this topic ever again. I really don't. So hopefully next week is the last week we ever talk about it, okay? Hopefully next Sunday's show, where we do this same show, is the last time we ever have to talk about this takeover, because it is literally so draining. And I do just hope that they announce what's going on before the Premier League starts, because I want Ten Hag to succeed this season. And if people are protesting, people are walking out of games, people are boycotting matches, I have full respect for that. I really do. And everybody has the right to protest. But at the end of the day, it's going to really affect our season next year. It will. There'll be so much negativity around it, and it will affect our season. There's no way that anybody in the chat can say it won't. So I just hope I pray that the Glazers let us know what's going on by kind of next week. I mean, somebody says in the chat, maybe Rio was right and Qatar already own it. I mean, he might be. You never know. Maybe, you just don't know, do you? We've been kept in the dark. We literally have been kept in the dark throughout this whole process. We've attached ourselves to random journalists who we've never heard of before the takeover, who come out and say stuff, and then they get 300,000 followers within an hour, and then it turns out being wrong. Do you know what I mean? There's been so many people who've kind of, yeah, like latched onto this. And I just hope that, by the time the season starts, we know exactly what's going on with this situation, because I'm sick to death of it. And the last thing I want is for games to be called off. I fully respect that, and I agree that games should be called off. They should protest, like everything should happen. But if we want to succeed next season, we're not going to succeed on the football pitch. I mean, we're not going to succeed next season on the football pitch by having games called off, you know? That isn't going to help the team morale. It's not going to help Erik ten Hag. And the last thing I want is for Erik ten Hag not to succeed. I fully believe in Erik ten Hag. He is 100% the right man, but he's just got the wrong owners who are you know, overseeing him. So yeah, it is a bit of a strange one. It really is. But hopefully good times are coming. Yeah, as people said in the chat, maybe they already have won the bid. Maybe it's kind of, maybe the formalities are being done behind the scenes. I just feel like something would have come out, you know, but that's just my opinion. I don't really know. Maybe it is this non-disclosure agreement. Maybe it is that strict that, like, if anybody leaked anything at this point, it could, you know, they could be sued, or like, we literally just don't know, do we? Yeah, so Jamie says no news means things are happening off the radar. The club stopped the leaks. Yeah, I get you. Yeah, I do kind of agree in some ways. I do think that no news is good news. Like, because as I said, I'm sick of hearing random journalists who I've never heard of coming out saying that they've been told by somebody that Sheikh Jassim's going to take over tomorrow. And you're just like, mate, I literally don't know who you are, to be completely honest with you. I've never heard of you. And now literally everybody on Twitter is saying that, oh, I heard from this journalist that this is happening. And it's just draining. It really, really is. But let me know in the comments section, what do you think is going to happen with the takeover? Do you think Sheikh Jassim's going to win? Do you think Sir Jim's going to win? Do you think the Glazers are going to stay? Let me know in the comments section. Let me know how you're feeling about it as a whole. Obviously, as I said, I've just brought you all of the news around the takeover this week, which, to be completely honest with you, hasn't actually been that much. Obviously, there's been the stories that the Glazers now want 8 billion. There's been the stories that apparently there's going to be developments when they come back from the tour next week. Those are kind of the only bits of updates we've had this week. We haven't had any like Bloomberg or a Qatari newspaper saying tomorrow. So like it has gone very, very quiet, to be completely honest with you. But yeah, I hope that you guys appreciate how I've done this, because honestly, I'm sick of talking about the takeover. I really, really am. But I know a lot of people do want to talk about it, so I've tried to compress it into one show, and I hope you guys are okay with that, and I hope you guys like respect that I'm still talking about it, because yeah, I honestly, there's nothing more that I want than to never talk about this ever again, and to just be focusing on the football, focusing on Erik ten Hag, focusing on winning trophies and improving our play, because it is just absolutely draining. But some positivity, we are playing a football match in about 5 hours time, which I'm really, really looking forward to. We're playing Borussia Dortmund at 2 a.m. UK time. I won't be doing a watch along for it, because to be completely honest with you, I'm going to watch it in bed. I don't really want to be on a webcam at 2 a.m. In the morning. So yeah, I do apologise, but I will not be doing a watch along. I'm just going to watch it in bed. I'm going to get all cozy and watch the football. So yeah, we have got a football game to watch tonight. I hope you guys do enjoy that one. I'm gonna wrap the video up here, because I don't want to talk about the takeover anymore, to be completely honest with you. But please do smash a like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel if you are new here. We are live every single day at 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. UK time. So I'll speak to you guys in the morning. Tomorrow will be a new day, and it'll be a positive Kieran. But to be completely honest with you, I find it very, very difficult to be positive around the takeover situation at the moment. So I do apologise if this has been a bit of a negative show, a bit of a downbeat show. But I'm not going to be something different just to try and kind of, you know, get likes or clicks. You're getting me as a real person. Usually I am a very, very positive person, but whenever we have to talk about the takeover, it literally just drains me. It really, really does. But I do think it's important to do it once a week. Right, so we're going to wrap the video up here. Thank you so much to everyone who has watched today. I do hope you have a lovely Sunday wherever you are in the world, and I do hope you enjoy the Borussia Dortmund game. I will be back at 8 a.m. UK time tomorrow. Please do smash a like on the video on your way out. Please do subscribe to the channel. This has been Daily Red Devil. I've been Kieran. Lots of love and peace out.